All right, guys, it is middle of summer here in South Carolina. I am standing in our pollinator project that we did earlier this winter. And as you can see, it has absolutely come up great. The whole project in a whole has done really well. It's been a pretty wet spring and summer so far. We've gotten a good bit of rain, so these plants are putting on a good amount of growth. What we're going to do in today's video basically is we're just going to kind of go around the whole project and kind of show you how things have progressed so far. I think it's been 3 to 4 months since everything's been planted and cut, so it's just going to be a little update video, show you things, how they're doing. I'm going to show you some things that we probably would have changed if we were to do this again, but yeah, that's what we're going to do, and we're going to get into it. All right, guys, we are standing inside the pollinator blend right now. I'm just going to kind of go over some of the species that have come up. It's pretty heavily dominated by ragweed, which I'm okay with. It provides really good brooding cover. Deer utilize it. They'll eat some of it. They'll bed in it, which when we were coming down today, we actually spooked 2 fawns out of this pollinator blend. They were probably bedded in here. They went over towards the CRP, so deer have been utilizing this very well. Basically what we got is we have a lot of common ragweed, as you can see. Right here we got some black-eyed Susans. These purple flowers right here, these are lemon bee balm. Over to my right, we got a lot of partridge pea coming up in here. And all these are really great species. There's a lot of bugs. I don't know if you can see it, but there's bees all around me pollinating these flowers. There's a lot of grasshoppers in here, so if we can get some turkeys on this property, this is really going to be a great space for them to utilize. Those are most of the plants that come up. We do have some grasses coming up, but they haven't come up as well as the forbs and wildflowers has, but there is scattered throughout here, there is some warm season grasses coming up. It's basically most of the species coming up. There's some other species in here, but these are the ones that have really done well so far. And we're only about middle of the way through summer, so the more this goes on into the fall, we're going to get more and more plant species coming up into this. But that's basically the update on the pollinator blend, and now we're going to roll over here to the back and show you how the edge feathering came. All right, guys, we're standing in the edge feathering that is on the back side of this pollinator project. We got big timber behind me. This is one of the few stands of mature timber we got. So they use this in the fall, especially when we have a really good acorn drop. They transition through here when it used to be the briar patch, and then they would work into the plots. Well, now this year we have that. Got a good transitional habitat now with this edge feathering. Leads into the pollinator blend, a lot of food, a lot of diversity, a lot of cover in there. Still thick on the edges of this, so they're still going to use that and funnel into the food plot. So this whole area has just gotten better. It should be 2, 3, 4 times even better deer movement than we usually get. We have a lot of good plants already coming up in this edge feathering. There's already some really good American beautyberry back here. There's some of the warm season grasses coming up right here, right on the edge of the feathering and the pollinator. Of course, we got the down trees. We did a lot of flush cuts in here. We did a few hinge cuts, but we mainly flush cut, and that provides really good cover on the ground. We got some green briar coming up, which deer absolutely hammer. So we got some really good species coming up, really good cover. Now we're going to transition over and we're going to show you how the trees are doing inside the pollinator blend. All right, guys, we're going to show you now how some of the trees are doing. This is a American chestnut we're standing next to. All the trees have done really well. I believe we've put in 10 trees, and 9 of the 10 have come up. The nice thing about ordering from Whitetail Hill is if your bare root trees don't come up by the end of June, you can contact them, and they will give you money back for any trees that didn't come up, but 90% is pretty good. So we have 5 chestnuts, they've all come up, and 4 of the 5 persimmons have come up, so that's really good. The coverings have worked really well. I liked what we did. We cut trees with some elms. I think we cut for stakes. That was a really good money saver in this project instead of just buying stakes. That was definitely a plus. I would do that again. We're gonna get some metal caging to go around this probably at the end of this year. That way the tops of these trees don't start getting tore up by the deer. But really like how the trees performed. Now we're going to transition. We're going to start showing you the shrubs. We got the dogwoods and the beautyberries, and that's what we're going to go to next. All right, guys, I'm inside the first fencing we did on the shrubs. This is the American beautyberry. We got these off of Amazon. I didn't know how they were going to perform, being that we did buy them off Amazon, but they have done very well. We bought 30 of them. 29 of the 30 have lived, and they all are probably going to live now. They've gotten through that first phase of planting and everything, and they're looking pretty strong. So I would definitely recommend that if you're still on Amazon. They're still a good price. They did very well. One thing I would change in here next time is we didn't put any weed mats down. Now I know it looks good right now, but right outside here, this is what this inside looked like last week before we weeded it. So we're gonna put down some weed mats on all of these. And that's about the only thing I would change on these shrub plantings, is add in weed mats. It will save you the hassle of having to come in here and weed and try to figure out which plant is which we use an app for that. It's very easy. It's called Picture This. It'll tell you what's what if you don't know your plant species. But other than that, beautyberries are doing very well. Another native plant. We kept everything native. And the nice thing is we added these in, but we also have a lot of wild native American beautyberry coming up and around this project. It's in the feathering project, which we had a video on that come out, or it actually might be coming out after this. But this beautyberry over there, we got beautyberry back here in the feathering behind the pollinator. So it's a plant that's already on this property. It's wild. The deer love it. It's very good forage for them. So adding in another 30 of them and creating kind of that thick edge that we have with the briars is just going to bring this whole project together on this east side. So that's the beautyberries. We're going to go over here next, and we're going to show you the dogwoods, how they're doing. All right, guys, we're inside one of our fenced in dogwood plantings here. We're on the west side of the pollinator project. This is a gray dogwood. We planted about 30 in here between two separate fences. We left a little gap in between the fences as kind of like an entranceway into the pollinator, and right in front of it is our water hole, and then behind that is some thick timber and our CRP. Now, a lot of you guys are probably familiar with dogwood plantings, but you're probably more familiar with red osier dogwood. Red osier likes a little bit more wetter climates. Doesn't do as well in this part of the country where I live. However, gray dogwood does very well here, and it's a native to the southeast. So we chose this. This isn't as much for deer and stuff as it is kind of for all wildlife. It grows up thick and kind of spreads out. Quail use it very well. It produces some berries, which turkeys will eat. Deer will forage on it a little bit, but not as heavy as you would a red osier dogwood. But we ordered these from the Iowa DNR State Forest Nursery. Every single one we planted has survived. None of them have died, so that's very well. Again, the one thing I would change in here is put down weed mats, which we are going to do. It will save you all kinds of time having to come in here and weed. That's the only thing I would change. If you have a state forest nursery in your state that you can use, do that. By the time we got to ordering, the only state forest nursery that had what we wanted left was Iowa, so we chose Iowa. Or else I would have used my own state's nursery. But very good price if you go through the Iowa State Nursery. I think they were like $1 or 80 cents a plant. It was very cheap. So I really like that. And now we're going to transition over here, and we're going to show you how the screening is doing that we planted. All right, guys, I'm standing in the bigger of the 2 hourglass plots where I shoot about 95% of the deer on this property. Just everything comes together here. It's like a natural funnel. It's a natural pinch point. This food here is just a really good spot on this 40-acre piece where you can catch deer moving almost any time of the day. But this is our screening blend we put in. It's coming in pretty well. It's only about a foot high right now, but give it a year or two to mature and it's eventually going to get about 6 feet high. The purpose of this is to screen off the food plot from the pollinator blend in our shrub plantings, just to provide them with some more cover and comfortability. What we did for this was a native blend of grass, all native to the southeast. It's about 60% little and big blue stem, mixed in with about 20% Indian grass and another 20% switchgrass. We got this off of Amazon as well. I think it was $40, $50 for about a 10-pound bag, which isn't bad. Native grass seed is really expensive, but happy with how it's come up. It wraps all the way around from where the dogwoods start all the way to where the beauty berries start. And that's basically our screening on this project. All right, guys, this isn't really part of the pollinator project, but I kind of just wanted to show it to you as an ending. Right now, I'm standing next to the water hole. Behind me is a little fire break we put in. At the end of that fire break is the CRP, okay? Now, what I really like about this addition, it doesn't really have anything to do with the pollinator, but just kind of showing you what you can get out of just cutting. You don't have to seed anything, you don't have to do any of that. Nature will do it for you. So we have this, we have a little deer trail coming out of the timber right here to my right. They work this, all right? They come up and they hug the edge of this pollinator planting and work into the food plots. Now, they used to do this naturally without the pollinator here. They used to do it with the briar patch. But I want to show you what cutting and letting sunlight come in will do for you. So this used to be briars to my left and thick timber like it still is to my right. We cut in the pollinator and brought it to here, but we left an edge here because I knew this was going to grow up thick on its own. And if you look at the species in here, a lot of the species in here that I'm standing in, okay, are actually in that pollinator blend that we planted. You got common ragweed here. I can see some lemon bee balm in there. There's, I can see some partridge pea growing right there. There's some wild bergamot. Back over my left shoulder, there's a beauty berry coming up. All this is natural. You didn't have to plant any of this. All you have to do is let the sunlight come in, do a little bit of hard work in the winter or early spring, cut some trees like this. This is a hinge cut we did. There's some flush cuts in here. And all this is great natural native browse that the deer are gonna absolutely hammer through the summer and into fall. So get out, do a little bit of hard work, improve your property, and you can have a major change happen in one growing season. If you like the video, go ahead and like it, subscribe, comment, all that great stuff, and we'll catch you on the next episode.